Hi Cancer, my lunar brothers and sisters. Welcome to your April, can you believe it, 2024 Astro Tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. So remember, if you're only going to watch one of these, make sure it's for your ascendant sign. It's going to be that much more accurate for you on the day-to-day level. I am using whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know. And with that said, if I ever forget the dates or the degrees or any of that stuff, you can find that in the description box below. Just like you can find the details to book a personal reading with me down there. Now, if that being said, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you in your path to your highest vibrational good. So, excuse me. All right, let's pop these to the side. Now, the first transit that I want to look at is on the 2nd of the month. Mercury is going to go retrograde in the sign of Aries, which is in your career sector, in your career house. All right, so it's in your 10th house, the most public version of you, which means you're going to be rethinking your public persona, how you present to the world, what you share with people, what you don't share with people, what you feel is enough to share with people, all of that kind of stuff. You're rethinking how the world sees you, and more importantly, how you're going to present yourself to the world at this time. I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up seeing you reconnect to old work colleagues or maybe even study buddies at this time. There's a reason for that. Mercury for you in your chart rules your 12th house of the past. And it also rules your 3rd house of communications, conversations, your local environment, and your school learning, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if you're reconnecting with people like this. Remember, when Mercury tracks backward, or as it looks like in the sky, we are redoing things, revising things, reconnecting to people, redeciding, redefining. We're doing all of those things with the mind and with our communications as well. So both are possible at this time. There could be old work colleagues coming in, old, study buddies, all of that stuff. And this could actually be very good for you, right? Both are possible, but it's in the career sector, right? So you might be rethinking the skills that you've got. That's the 3rd house, and that 3rd house linked through Mercury. And maybe you're thinking about training. Maybe you're thinking about how you can reposition yourself via the skill set that you have. What also speaks to me here as well is what do you desire to do with and for your work, and how do you want to be seen out in the world? All of these things converge at this time, right? Mercury is going to see you rethinking it, and very often when a planet goes retrograde, the energy is a little bit more internalized, right? So you're rethinking all of this, and maybe a conversation that you have with somebody, an old friend, an old colleague, an old work partner, an old study buddy, maybe it gives you an idea of how to proceed, right? A sibling, Mercury rules siblings, the 3rd house is the space of siblings as well. So it could be a sibling that you have, if you've got one, that you have a conversation with, or maybe even someone that you consider like a close confidant, right? So someone that's like a brother from another mother or a sister from another mister, all of that kind of stuff, right? If you don't have siblings, don't panic. But it could be through a conversation that you have with somebody that really kind of helps you go, wow, once upon a time, actually, that was a dream for me. That was a hope for me. That, I had planned to use my skills like this. And I can give you a really good example of this. I have a friend who, she studied to be a nurse, right? That's her whole thing. But she always said, I don't want to be a nurse. I'm studying this stuff so that I can be an esthetician. And she does all kinds of, beauty procedures and stuff, things that you can't or shouldn't really do without like a really deep level of training. And she's brilliant at it, and she loves it, and she's acing it, right? She's out there really she out here getting her money, Henny. Okay, so good for her. And that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, she's trained as a nurse, but she's using those skills in a completely different way, right? Or compared to what would be expected of her to have all of those skills. So fair play to her. I think she's out there getting her life. Good for her, man. So with this, you've got the Temperance card. So finding some form of remedial action. You've got this with the you've got this with the King of Wands, all right, and then you've got this with the Hermit card. So, the King of Wands is a fire sign male, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Temperance card is Sagittarius energy. So, a Saggy male could very well help you with this. Now, how do you know that you're meeting or you're talking to the right person that might be coming up in the cards? This person will be older than you. They'll be older than you, they'll be wiser than you, and they are probably very well learned or licensed or referenced within the specific field that you are hoping to move into or that you already work in. You might even find as well, because the King of Wands is about visibility, you might find that you end up connecting with somebody who has like a, what's the word that I'm looking for? Yeah, you might find that you're connecting to somebody that has a, like, maybe they've got a lot of sway within the industry, but more importantly for you, they might have a way of pushing you to go after something that maybe you wouldn't go after on your own. So I love this. I actually, yeah, I kind of feel like this is the right nudge that you need from somebody who really has your best interests at heart. Because it's the Temperance card as well and the Hermit, this could also come with a level of healing. Now, on the 8th of the month, we've got the new moon solar eclipse. Where are you, Luna? We've got the new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, which is also in your 10th house of career, right? So this is a big change in the career sector. Now, these eclipses for you are happening across the 4th house, 10th house axis. These eclipses are no joke, right? When we have eclipses in the 4th and the 10th, when we have eclipses, and in the 6th and the 12th, for me personally, I have found that those are the most intense, right? I don't know about anybody else. I'm sure they would disagree, but for me personally, those are the ones that really have the major impact. Now, it's not an easy axis, but it does tend to up level us in so many ways, right? So if you can ride it out and get on board with this, the results could be immense for you. This is an eclipse conjunct Chiron at the sun's most exalted degree of 19 degrees. So this is where the sun has its most power. The sun for you rules your 2nd house of money, finances and resources. Luna herself is you, right? You are ruled by the moon. So this is your body, your mind, your outlook, your personality, how you present to the world. So all of that through the guise of the 10th house, there's some big up level that is just waiting beneath the surface to break through for you guys, and I'm so totally here for it. Because all of this is going to be conjunct Chiron, there is an element of this of, it's like you're doing some kind of big healing, right? Some big moment to your personal power is being healed in some way via the career for you. One of the things is though, because this is in the 10th house, this might be very public, right? This is kind of like, and Cancer likes to lick its wounds in private, right? We like to, I've got a Cancer moon, you guys know this, my lunar brothers and sisters. Cancer likes to retreat to the Cancer cave, right, to deal with all of their shit, and then we kind of emerge when we're ready. But you might not have the option with this eclipse. Given that the sun is really happy here and it's your money and your values, this could be a really powerful up level of how you see yourself and how you now wish to present yourself to the public, and a change of status in some regard could be a part of this. I'm not going to go as far as to say like it's a lotto win, but there could be some up level to the internal intrinsic value of self that leads to a financial up level of some kind. So I'm totally here for that for you as well. All right, for this you have the World card. I mean, up level, can you say up level? With the Devil card, okay, and the 7 of Pentacles. You have to be really conscious of bad investments at this time, right? Like this new moon solar eclipse is really trying to say to you, because it's on the 4th house, 10th house axis. So just by the very nature of it being a 10th house eclipse, something is happening in your 4th naturally, right? Because nothing works on its own. So you have to watch out for bad investments at this time, or being swayed by a community, right? Aries is the sign of the self. This has to be self-led and self-directed. Don't let anybody else flavor or shape what this is going to look like for you. You have to be the one that takes the reins here. And the 7 of Pentacles with the Devil card, I usually see that as like, it's like a bad investment of some sort. It's where we put our time, our money, our trust or whatever in something or someone that doesn't necessarily pay out what it promises to. Now, because we've got the Devil card here as well, this might be you clinging, and we know Cancer loves the familiar, right? You love the secure. Even though you're a cardinal sign, you're always looking for that comfort and that security. And I got to be honest with you, this energy is encouraging you to do what is new, what is different. And there's a big part of you that's trying to do the same old, same old. And I got to be honest, if you try to go down that route and keep everything the same as it is, that's where you're going to run into problems, all right? You're being given a chance to upgrade easily here. Take it. On the 18th of the month... on the 18th of the month, Jupiter and Uranus are going to come into a conjunction. So they start this conjunction on the 18th, and it goes right the way through to like the 21st of the month. So it's like a good 3 days, right? Now, that being said, they've been flirting with this conjunction for the last 11 months, but now it comes exact. This is a conjunction in the house of your future goals, aspirations, and dreams, with Jupiter ruling your work. Jupiter rules your sixth house of your work, but it also rules your ninth house of your higher beliefs, right? So there's some kind of, again, deep healing or deep transformation or even psychological makeup shift that's happening here. I really like this for a deep transformation or connection with a friend that helps you transcend something that you've been waiting to just break out of the box of. I really love this for what feels like you finally finding your tribe, right? It might be about you building rather than joining a group or association, and it could very well see you getting really clear on the opportunities that are showing up now and how you get them to work in your favor. Remember, Mercury is still retrograde at this time, right? So see what shows up first, and then when it goes direct on around the 25th of the month, then you lean into it. All right. So just something to consider. I would do the manifesting on this day, right? I wouldn't necessarily take action out in the world because Mercury is retrograde, but I'm seeding that, right? Universe, you're giving me a Jupiter conjunct Uranus, which happens once every 14 years, and it will never, unless you're literally born on this day, this conjunction will never happen in any of our lifetimes ever again, right? Because it's such a, once in 14, and then you think it's got the whole zodiac to travel, and it doesn't travel sort of sequentially. So there's something in that, right? This is a once in a lifetime shot. Use this energy, seed the energy, put your intentions out there into the world. Absolutely. Find a way to energetically set that imprint for what it is that you want out of this transit. For this, you've got the Queen of Cups. That is you. Whether you're a man, you're a woman is irrelevant. This is Cancer energy, so you show up as yourself. You got this with the Five of Wands. Don't be afraid to collaborate. You got this with the Ten of Pentacles. You ready to get this money, honey? I'm loving it. All right. So look, you've got the Ten of Pentacles, which means that the legacy work that you are doing is absolutely in some regard secured. So we love that. But you've got this with the Five of Wands. It can be challenge, it can be conflict, but it can also be groups. And so what this tells me is a big part of what this transit, this conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus is trying to do for you is give you a stronger sense of yourself, so that you can utilize the networks, the resources, and the people around you to help you build your future goals, plans, and the ideals that you have for your legacy. I'm totally here for this, right? And I think that this could be financially very nice for you eventually as well. You will have to work it, right? We know that, but you will have to work it. For the final transit that I want to look at is on the 28th of the month. So Luna will be at 28 of Sag. The Sun, Venus will be at 28 of Aries. And Mars will be conjunct Neptune at 28 of Pisces, right? So there's a lot of energy at this time. Moon, Neptune, and Mars and Venus. All of these planets will be at 28 degrees of their respective signs. That's a pretty big deal for you personally, because 28 degrees is known as a Cancerian degree, right? So it feels like this has a lot to do with healing because it's across the 6th house and the 9th house. So, and it is a square. right? So just to tell you, there's going to be some tension. This could be a healing crisis, you know, where something gets worse before it gets better. I also feel, because Mars conjunct Neptune is the spiritual warrior that is willing to die for their beliefs, right? The energy that Mars in conjunction with Neptune provides is more powerful for you than anybody else at this time, I personally feel. And what's really awesome about it is it offers a trine to your ascendant and whatever planets you may or may not have in Scorpio. So either which way, it's pretty powerful. It will give you a nigh on unbreakable spirit or vision, right? Mars Neptune is an incredible drive that comes from within. In the ninth house, your beliefs, your belief structure, your belief system is what's going to drive this healing that can take place for you, providing you're in the right space with it, right? And the moon is you, so it's going to be in Sagittarius, which is your sixth house, your physical body, your day-to-day habits, patterns, routines, all of that kind of stuff. It'll give you that really powerful push from within. So both of these are being activated at this time, and it could be that you're like, there's a very powerful channeling vibe and energy in the air for you at this time, because I see the ninth house as one of the ways that we connect to cosmos or God or whatever you want to call it. The moon in the sixth house, I think, adds a really nice healing element to this, and it might reveal to you spiritually something that could be very useful for your health and vitality, that you could decide to take in a different way, or even go into like a foreign practice. You might come across something you know, from a distant land or a foreign culture, etc., and you think, wow, this is really powerful, and it speaks directly to you in a big way. I really love this for new work ideas as well, that simulate change through overcoming challenges. All right, so for this you've got the Page of Swords with the Ace of Wands, okay, and the Ten of Wands. So it is very possible that at this time you could be signing some sort of paperwork or documentation for new studies, for new information. I wouldn't be surprised if this was happening right now. With the Ten of Wands as well, this is where like a facade or a burden of some sort drops, and you see where, like, oh my gosh, you know what, this belief system or this belief structure is actually what's held me back, and now that I'm truly embodied or really in my own space and my own sort of self, I know that I can transcend this experience. I'm totally here for this. There is a fresh start here as well, and there's also a grand completion, because you've got the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Wands, right? So the beginning and the end. Nice, very, very nice. I'm intrigued as to how this will show up for you. Okay, and then finally, your new moon Human Design Oracle deck card is... the Gate 35 and Experience, right? This is in your 10th house, right? We've already talked about this eclipse at length, but I will say what this eclipse is really asking for you and from you, for your own highest good, is literally not to take anybody else's word for it. This has to be self-focused, self-directed. Whatever anybody else's experience of it is, that doesn't matter here. This is where you kind of say, you know what? You know, where someone says to you, like, oh yeah, my friend went there, I don't think you should go, they went and they hated it. Okay, well, that was their experience. I'm going to do this for myself because it might be different for me, right? Your own experience around this eclipse for this lunar transit is going to be really important. And then on the 23rd of the month, the sun will be in Taurus and the moon will be in Scorpio. This is going to be a Scorpio full moon in your 5th house of pleasure, creativity, romance, joy, love, creation, your children if you have them. Something about all of these things is being illuminated. Remember as well, even if the moon is in its full in Scorpio, what's really important to remember with the 5th house is it is a very lucky house as well. And for this, you've got the Gate 33 and Looking Back. And this is what Denise calls a remembrance gate. And what this means is memories from the past, right? Things that really potentially go right back to your childhood Maybe even for some of you, this could be a moment where some kind of memory from your childhood bubbles up and you have some kind of moment where it's like, wow, okay, this is a true inner child healing moment. It could be a moment from your ancestry as well, right? It could even be from a past life. Pay attention to the memories that you have at this time, and wherever your mind at this full moon is drawn backward in some way, pay attention, because there's a message there for you in terms of your present and moving forward, and how you either tap the luck of the universe or how you utilize that memory to create something moving forward. It could also be where you're completing a project of some sort and that's now finally getting its day out in the sun or in the moonlight. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. With that said, take care and I'll see you soon.